Emotions are the heartbeats of our inner world. They color our experiences, shape our interactions, and guide our responses to life's tapestry of events. From the exhilaration of love to the depths of despair, emotions are the compass of our being, pointing us towards what matters most. Understanding these intricate feelings is paramount to navigating the complexities of our internal landscape. Imagine a world devoid of emotions, a monochrome existence devoid of joy, sorrow, anger, or fear. Without these vibrant hues, our lives would lack depth, meaning, and connection. Emotions, both positive and negative, are essential threads in the rich tapestry of human experience. They provide us with vital information about ourselves, our needs, and the world around us. Recognizing and acknowledging our emotions is the first step towards emotional intelligence. It allows us to become more attuned to our inner experiences and develop a deeper understanding of our motivations and desires. By embracing the full spectrum of our emotions, we unlock a profound capacity for empathy, compassion, and authentic connection with ourselves and others. Just as language allows us to communicate our thoughts and ideas, emotions serve as a powerful form of nonverbal communication. Our facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice convey a wealth of emotional information, often more effectively than words alone. By learning to decipher these nonverbal cues, we can enhance our ability to connect with others on a deeper level. Emotions can be elusive, often surfacing in subtle ways that can be challenging to pinpoint. Like whispers in the wind, they can be fleeting and difficult to grasp. Yet, with practice and self-awareness, we can learn to identify the nuances of our emotional experiences. One effective way to identify emotions is to pay attention to our physical sensations. Each emotion triggers a unique physiological response within our bodies. For instance, anxiety might manifest as a racing heart, while sadness might feel like a heavy weight on our chest. By tuning into these bodily cues, we can gain valuable insights into our emotional state. Another helpful strategy is to observe our thoughts and behaviors. Emotions often influence our thought patterns and actions. For example, if we're feeling angry, we might engage in negative self-talk or lash out at others. Conversely, feelings of joy might inspire us to be more outgoing and optimistic. Journaling can be a powerful tool for exploring and understanding our emotions. By taking the time to reflect on our experiences and the feelings they evoke, we can begin to identify patterns and triggers that influence our emotional well-being. Through regular writing, we can cultivate greater self-awareness and develop strategies for managing challenging emotions. In his groundbreaking work, psychologist Robert Plutchik proposed that emotions are not merely random occurrences, but rather organized patterns of experience with distinct evolutionary roots. He identified 8 primary emotions, each serving a specific adaptive function in our lives: joy, sadness, anger, fear, trust, disgust, surprise, and anticipation. Building upon Plutchik's model, psychologist Howard Spradlin refined the framework by expanding it to encompass 9 primary emotions. Spradlin's model includes interest, joy, sadness, anger, fear, shame, guilt, disgust, and surprise. These 9 emotions, according to Spradlin, serve as the foundational building blocks of our emotional landscape. Each primary emotion, while distinct in its experience and expression, is interconnected with the others. They often blend and interact in complex ways, creating a rich tapestry of emotional experience. For instance, joy and sadness are not mutually exclusive. We can experience both simultaneously, such as when we feel bittersweet nostalgia for a cherished memory. Understanding the nuances of these primary emotions is crucial for developing emotional intelligence. By recognizing the distinct qualities of each emotion, we can better understand our own emotional responses and navigate the complexities of interpersonal relationships. Emotions are not merely fleeting feelings, they serve vital functions in our lives. Each primary emotion plays a unique role in shaping our perceptions, influencing our behaviors, and guiding our interactions with the world around us. Interest, for example, sparks our curiosity and motivates us to explore new ideas, experiences, and relationships. It fuels our desire to learn, grow, and expand our horizons. Joy, on the other hand, arises from experiences of pleasure, connection, and fulfillment. It strengthens social bonds, enhances creativity, and promotes overall well-being. Sadness, while often perceived as a negative emotion, serves an important adaptive function. It signals loss, prompting us to seek support, withdraw from overwhelming situations, and reflect on our experiences. Anger, too, has its purpose. It arises when we perceive injustice, threat, or violation of our boundaries. Anger energizes us to take action, assert ourselves, and protect our well-being. Fear, an emotion deeply rooted in our survival instincts, alerts us to potential danger and motivates us to take steps to ensure our safety. Shame and guilt, while often experienced as uncomfortable emotions, play a crucial role in regulating our social behavior. They motivate us to make amends for our mistakes, maintain positive social connections, and uphold moral standards. Disgust, like fear, serves a protective function. It arises in response to stimuli that are perceived as physically or morally repulsive, prompting us to avoid potentially harmful substances or behaviors. Finally, surprise, a fleeting but powerful emotion, focuses our attention on unexpected or novel stimuli, allowing us to quickly assess the situation and respond accordingly. Section 5, the double-edged sword: short-term relief, long-term consequences. While emotions serve essential functions in our lives, they can also lead to behaviors that are helpful in the short term but detrimental in the long run. When we allow our emotions to dictate our actions without conscious awareness and regulation, we risk falling into patterns of behavior that undermine our well-being and damage our relationships. For instance, consider anger. While anger can be a powerful motivator for positive change, when expressed aggressively or violently, it can lead to conflict, aggression, and broken relationships. Similarly, while sadness can prompt us to seek support and reflect on our experiences, when indulged in excessively, it can spiral into chronic unhappiness, isolation, and despair. The key to harnessing the power of our emotions lies in developing emotional regulation skills. Emotional regulation involves learning to identify, understand, and manage our emotions in healthy and constructive ways. It is not about suppressing or denying our feelings, but rather about developing the capacity to experience our emotions fully without being overwhelmed by them. One effective strategy for emotional regulation is mindfulness. Mindfulness involves paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations in the present moment without judgment. By cultivating a mindful awareness of our emotional experiences, we can learn to observe our emotions with greater objectivity and choose how we respond to them. Understanding the biological underpinnings of emotions can provide valuable insights into how our brains process emotional information and generate emotional responses. The amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure located deep within the brain, plays a central role in processing emotions, particularly those related to fear and threat. When we encounter a potentially threatening stimulus, the amygdala acts as a rapid response system, triggering a cascade of physiological and behavioral changes designed to protect us from harm. This fight-or-flight response prepares our bodies to either confront the threat head-on or flee to safety. The hippocampus, another key player in the emotional brain, is responsible for forming and storing memories. It works in concert with the amygdala to create emotional memories, which are often more vivid and enduring than neutral memories. These emotional memories can influence our future emotional responses, shaping our perceptions and behaviors in similar situations. The prefrontal cortex, the most evolved part of the human brain, plays a crucial role in regulating emotions. It acts as a control center, receiving input from the amygdala and hippocampus and modulating our emotional responses. The prefrontal cortex allows us to think rationally, plan for the future, and make considered decisions, even in the face of intense emotions. Developing emotional intelligence is an ongoing journey that requires practice, self-reflection, and a willingness to explore the complexities of our inner world. The following exercises can help you enhance your emotional literacy and develop greater mastery over your emotional experiences. Exercise 1. Emotional vocabulary expansion. Take a few moments to reflect on your emotional vocabulary. How many different emotions can you name? Challenge yourself to expand your emotional lexicon by exploring synonyms and nuances of common emotional terms. For example, instead of simply labeling your feeling as sad, consider whether you're feeling melancholic, dejected, heartbroken, or disappointed. Exercise 2. Matching emotions to functions. Review Spradlin's 9 primary emotions and their corresponding functions. Choose a recent emotional experience and identify the primary emotion that best captures your feeling. Then reflect on the function that emotions served in that particular situation. For example, if you experienced fear before a presentation, acknowledge that fear's function is to alert you to potential threats and motivate you to prepare thoroughly. Exercise 3. The brain in action. Imagine a situation that typically evokes a strong emotional response in you. As you visualize the scenario, pay attention to the physical sensations you experience. Then reflect on how your amygdala, hippocampus, and prefrontal cortex might be involved in processing this emotional experience. For instance, you might notice your heart racing, amygdala, memories of similar situations surfacing, hippocampus, and your attempts to calm yourself down and think rationally, prefrontal cortex. Let's delve into the lives of two individuals, Thomas and Grace, to illustrate how understanding primary emotions can play out in real-life scenarios. Thomas, a successful entrepreneur, often struggles with anger. When a business deal falls apart, his immediate reaction is fury, leading him to lash out at his colleagues. This behavior, while providing a temporary outlet for his frustration, creates a hostile work environment and damages his professional relationships. By understanding that anger's function is to signal a perceived injustice and motivate him to take action, Thomas can learn to channel his anger more constructively. Instead of exploding in rage, he can practice assertive communication, addressing the issues that led to the failed deal calmly and directly. This approach allows him to protect his interests while maintaining positive relationships with his colleagues. Grace, a compassionate nurse, tends to suppress her sadness. After a particularly difficult day at the hospital, where she witnesses the pain and suffering of her patients, she bottles up her emotions, putting on a brave face for the sake of her family and friends. While this coping mechanism might seem helpful in the short term, it prevents her from processing her grief and seeking the support she needs. Recognizing that sadness serves a vital function in processing loss and seeking connection, Grace can learn to allow herself to grieve. By creating space for her sadness, whether through journaling, talking to a therapist, or engaging in creative expression, she can process her emotions healthily and build resilience in the face of challenging experiences. In the tapestry of human experience, emotions are the threads that weave together our thoughts, actions, and relationships. They color our perceptions, shape our decisions, and influence our interactions with the world around us. Mastering our emotions is not about achieving a state of perpetual happiness or suppressing unpleasant feelings. It is about developing emotional literacy, the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions in healthy and constructive ways. By cultivating emotional intelligence, we empower ourselves to live more authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling lives. We develop stronger relationships, navigate challenges with greater resilience, and make decisions aligned with our values and aspirations. Just as literacy unlocks a world of knowledge and understanding, emotional literacy opens the door to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the human experience. It is a journey worth embarking on, for in mastering our emotions, we unlock the full potential of our humanity.